Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have a brand new update for you. And of course, with that update brings loads of new tanks. Yes, loads and loads and loads of new tanks are coming this update. Now, we're going to start off with the new tech tree. So, of course, we do have the French medium tech tree that is now available in the update, so you can get going. So of course it does start from tier 7. You've got the AMX 13 M24. The tier 8, you've got the ERAC or ERAC 105 Proto. Tier 9, you've got the Project Lewis, and then you've got the Project Murat. So that is what tank we are going to have a look at today. The Murat. To be fair, it's under par. In my opinion, it is under par. I think it's quite boring. I'm not gonna lie. It is quite boring for a tier 10 tank, and I like my tier 10 tanks. I like pretty much all tier 10s. But this one is just like, there's just no oomph to it. There's no sort of get go. And it just, in my opinion, doesn't feel as good as most of the other tier 10 tanks. So we're going to look at the stats, and then we are going to get into some games. So you do have 2,629 DPM. So yeah, low on the reload, but it is an auto loader. It only has the 2 shells. So your magazine reload is 14.5 seconds. Your shell reload time is 2.4. You do have 2 shells in your magazine. Your penetration 264 on your AP, 345 on your heat, and 60 on your HE. You've got a 370 alpha gun, which is nice for a medium. 310 on your heat and 430 on your HE. Aim time is decent or pretty good at 3, and so is your gun dispersion at 0.281. You also have a very nice 9 degrees of gun depression. So and a top speed of 62 kilometers per hour. So yeah, stat wise, it doesn't actually look that bad. It doesn't look that bad if you go by the stats. Yes, the DPM isn't the greatest of DPMs, but it's not going to be. Being an auto loader, I do feel I don't know, I just feel it's not enough, in my opinion. It just doesn't feel enough for me. I feel it does suffer a little bit on the DPM. The armor profile, in certain angles, let me just fast forward this. In certain angles, your armor is okay, but that is sort of, that's really about it. It's nothing too special. You can get bounces. Now, I have had it where I've been in a game and I've been up against one of these, and the armor profile has actually looked really, really good. But that is the certain angles. But I've also come up against it, and yeah, it's like butter. You can get through it like butter. Of course, your upper plate can be quite strong. But yeah, overall, the armor profile isn't the greatest, so you can't rely on the armor profile to get a lot of bounces. You're going to get the odd bounce, of course. You will get the odd bounce, but yeah, the turret I think could be stronger, or I wouldn't put the hull stronger. I would probably definitely put the turret a little bit stronger. But yeah, I just think it's under par, and that's just my opinion. There are going to be people out there that do like this tank. Now, I can't really talk about the overall tech tree itself because I've only, of course, played this tank. I will be playing the others in due course. I will be going to play them tanks as well. But considering this update, obviously, that there's massive changes. It's one of the biggest updates we've had in a long time, and that's mainly because of the rebalances. There's a lot of people out there that don't like the rebalances, and I do understand the reasoning. Like that, they're ruining certain tanks, they're making other certain tanks a lot better for no reason, really. And Wargaming always say that they wanted to change, they want to change the meta, but some of the changes that they've done is just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you change this? It doesn't need changing. And one of them tanks, which we are going to look at tomorrow, is the VZ55, where it's now gone from a single shotgun to an auto loader. I don't get why it's gone to an auto loader. Again, there are going to be people out there that like it, and I'm not saying I don't like it. It actually fits the tank, in my opinion, but we don't need any more auto loaders in the game. We've already got too many, especially in tier 10. We do not need any more. But yet Wargaming are introducing, or they've already introduced another tier 10 auto loader. So but it is what it is. As I said, tomorrow's video will be about the VZ55. So yeah, I mean, back to the Projet Murat. Murat. I don't know how it's pronounced, so I do apologise. If you do want the ace, of course, it is a new tier 10 tank, so now is probably the time to go and play the tank, because it is a very easy ace. You don't have to do too much to get the mastery badge on this tank. But how would I play it? Now, I would still get on a ridge. I know the turret is a hit and miss, and you can be penetrated quite easily, but you can get them bounces. You know, you can't rely on the armor, but you can get them bounces. So I'd definitely still play it on a ridge. I wouldn't play it as like a normal medium, like where you're up close and personal. I wouldn't play that as with this tank, because it can struggle. You don't have the DPM to deal with the other mediums out there in the game, like the objects, the T62s, the E50Ms. You don't quite have that. It's not a brawling tank as such. I feel the reload, I mean, yes, the DPM isn't the best, but I feel the reload's okay for the magazine. I mean, 14.5 seconds I don't think is too bad. And again, the alpha, I do think the alpha's okay, but there is plenty of times where I do low roll in using this tank with the alpha that it's got. So more alpha would have been a little bit nice. It's more towards a heavy. But yeah, I've been told that the line itself, like the tanks leading up to this, isn't so good. Now in the last replay we see the tier 9 version, and that just looked like boring. It did look boring. So I'm not holding any hopes up for the line to be a fantastic line. And just by looking at it now, I can't confirm because I haven't played the line, but just by looking at it, it doesn't seem interesting at all, and I do think it is probably going to be one of the worse lines. No, it's not going to be. It doesn't look like it's going to be an enjoyable line to play. But the tier 10, I mean, this tank itself isn't a bad tank by any means, but it feels like there could be more to it. It feels like a heavy. It doesn't feel like a medium. Yes, the top speed is not too bad, but for me personally, it does feel more like a heavy tank. And because of the amount of low rolls I get in it, considering it's supposed to be 370, the amount of times I get sort of 320, 330, that kind of ruins it for me. So if the alpha was a little bit higher, I do think it would be a lot better than it is. But yeah, I can sense that a lot of people are not really going to enjoy the tank as much. But again, low roll there, 350, and that is most of my shots, I'm not gonna lie. But that game we still managed to bounce 2,000 damage. So yeah, as you can see, if you can get on a ridge line, even if it is a slight ridge, don't make it easy. Like your turret, try and get your turret up, and maybe just give it a little wiggle as well, and then it will be a little bit more difficult to penetrate. But as for now, there are better lines to grind. If you are sort of newer to the game, there are a lot better lines to grind. So yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend grinding it right now unless you have no more lines to grind. GG there for the T95 E6. But that is it. Let me know your thoughts on the Projet Murat in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the whole French medium line in general. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.